do the next author answers real quick like here. So let me get the next author answers is writing influenced by new media. This is number 15. All of us write prose fiction in an era that has an astounding variety of storytelling media. Has your writing been significantly influenced by any works of newer media? So that means TV, movies, internet, etc. Yes. Okay. So the first one I would say is the internet for sure. The internet definitely influences me. I'm influenced all the time by the internet, and I've been on the internet for a long time with the internet, since the early days when you had to do dial-up and all of that. And I had a live journal, so being part of those communities definitely shaped my writing. There'd be like writing groups, and then the genesis of NaNoWriMo, where you write a whole novel in 1 month, which I've done for many years now. And so those things really affected me. I don't know how they couldn't. Movies to a lesser extent, because I watch less movies. And let's see, what's another newer media? Gosh, I think that the internet is just the thing for me. Of course, books, and I guess that's an old media, sorry. Music really can inspire me. TV to a lesser extent, and it just basically the visual arts to a lesser extent, just because I don't spend as much time with them. But I would be amiss to say that they haven't influenced me, because every time you are watching something or experiencing something, or walking down the street and it's raining or it's sunny or whatever, if you're aware and in the moment and taking in information, then you should be changed by it and inspired by it. So all of those things definitely impact me. I don't know what other new medias is there. The only thing I can really think of is the internet, and the internet is so much. I mean, come on, the internet is so much. There's Twitter, which is super inspiring and interesting. There's all kinds of people. Suddenly you can really experience a lot of viewpoints in a very short amount of time. And if you're an author, it's like, take advantage. Instead of just saying, God, you suck, I disagree with you, go, wow, like you can really read somebody's timeline and develop an entire character of maybe something that you would never think of on your own, because you don't think like they do. So it's really cool to now be able to have this immediate view of somebody in their inner life. I feel like maybe LiveJournal was more, I hesitate to say more honest, but I feel like now there's so many easily accessible like filters and this and that and the other, and you find that a lot of people have constructed their lives, which is still inspiring because it's still a character that they created, and it can still spark creativity. But the old LiveJournal communities that I was part of, it was like a diary, an open diary, and I'm sure that this type of stuff still exists. Maybe I'm just not as aware of it, or I have other responsibilities now, so I can't just sit there and do online journaling all the time, unfortunately. But I really think that ability to have information is so amazing, because I remember a time in my life where that wasn't the case. And so if you wanted to know something, you had to look it up and hope that you found the answer. And you might not. And a lot of times the answer isn't just one thing. So you'd only get that one perspective on something. Whereas now you can type something in and then immediately find so many opinions on one thing, even if it's a historical thing. It's all opinions. So yeah, that's really interesting and inspiring, and I never would have had access to that type of ideas unless I just completely made it up, and then it might not be as realistic. Like, for example, in the book that I'm writing, I have a girl that comes from a very well-off background, and I don't, but through the internet, I've been able to communicate with people who come from that background and have talked to them about how that's impacted them, and not all for the positive. So without the internet, how would I have been able to construct this character in a believable way when I have no way into that lifestyle? So I think it's a really great thing besides books. I'm trying to think if there's another media besides the internet, but really, internet's everything for me. I don't know. There was some films that were really inspiring, and maybe in different ways. Like, for me, when I saw Monty Python for the first time, it was like, because if you can take kind of the darkest elements of humanity and then find ways to laugh about them, it's gonna be a lot better for you, in my opinion. So that was really inspiring to see people doing that in such a wonderful way. Really weird, and I like it. So they've inspired me. Of course, music, but that's an old medium too. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have the latest apps and things like that, so maybe I'm missing out on certain things, but hey, here's to the future, right? Yes, so thank you for watching, and we'll see what I come up with for the next author answer.